Hi, I'm Tom Spiggle with the Spiggle Law Firm, where we represent people who have been fired or afraid that they might be. And I'm thrilled today to be joined by Evelyn Coe, who is an attorney in my office. And Evelyn today wants to talk to us about the Pump Act. So I will turn it over to you. What should folks know about the Pump Act?
Hi, everybody. As Tom said, my name is Evelyn. I found some interesting information out from about the Pump Act recently, and I kind of wanted to share with you all the stuff that I've learned. So I'm a new mother as well, and I found out that in 2019, about 83% of babies are fed breast milk, but we didn't have any kind of recourse with our employers where we didn't get break time, nor did we get a private space to be able to pump and get the milk for our babies. So Biden last year in December signed a law that expanded the Break Time Act, which was part of the FSLA. But issue with it before, so there was a Break Time Act for breastfeeding mothers, but it was for only non-exempt people. So everybody who was exempt was basically excluded, and that was like 9
A lot of
million
people.
mothers, yes. So this Pump Act actually amends and expands that. So now it includes non-exempt and exempt people. And it allows us, everybody, all mothers, to get the benefits. And so now break time is required for pumping mothers to allow expression. And it also is important for employers to provide you with a private space and time for you to do your pumping. Um,
Yeah, and it's prior to certainly this act, which is coming out, but also the amendment to the Fair Labor Standards Act, the Break Act. There was no protection, right? I mean, like employers, just the horror stories of women trying to find places to pump at work and not
mhm,
getting support, or even getting discriminated against or penalized for that. So, really
mhm.
important, as you point out, there are a lot of people who are exempt from the Fair Labor Standards Act. If you make, I mean, this is kind of a uh, broad statement, but generally true. If you make over $40,000 a year and you're in any kind of management position, you are
Mhm.
probably exempt under the FLSA. So we had, as you mentioned, a large number of women who just didn't get those protections. So tell us a little bit what else we need to know about the act.
So I wanted to kind of reiterate some basic requirements. So a reasonable break time is needed in private space, like as I said before, for 1 year since birth, and that's for everybody. The For non-exempt people, the break can be unpaid. Um, the private place to pump can't be a bathroom. It must be available when you need it, and you have to be able to lock it, and you have to be able to retain your privacy. And this act also allows for you to have a private right of action, which means that you can actually sue your employer through just yourself. You can, and um, but you have to give your employer at least 10 days of notice before you file a suit. So you have to give them time to try to cure the violation. So you have to give them 10 days before you actually file a suit. But other than that, um, you go ask your employer, make sure that they'll be able to provide it. One other thing that is an exception is if your company is smaller than 50 people, then the employer can actually show undue hardship and not have to provide that. But that has a lot of steps to it, but it is an exception that you should also note.
Yeah, yeah, and it's important to note undue hardship is a high burden for employers to meet. I mean, they can meet it, but it can't just be, hey, this is inconvenient for us, or it may cost us a little bit of money. It's got to be something more substantial to that. And it
Yes.
sounds like this is not, you mentioned the private right of action that people can take their case to court if with a proper notice to the employer,
Yes.
if there's a violation. But it sounds like they do not have to file with the EEOC. Is that right?
It doesn't sound like you have to. I know that EEOC is required if you're discriminated against, so it might be something that you have to bring if you're alleging like a discriminated against you for sex. as a female, then you might have to bring it through the EOC. But through the Pump Act, you don't actually have to do that. You can actually do a private right of action based on this act and take
Yeah,
it straight to
that's
court.
great. It's good stuff to know, Evelyn. I appreciate you taking the time to tell us about this. I think it's a game changer for women in the workplace and for men, right?
Mhm.
Because men are involved in this too. So I think it's a great thing, and I appreciate you taking some time to tell us about it.
Thank you, Tom. It was really
All
nice
right.
to do this.
Have a great day.
You too.